Victory Monday is upon us. Not much of a celebration, but it's always good to get a W in the NFL. I'm going to be joined today with an acquaintance, Jets Chaos, and a friend, Matt O'Leary. Right after this, stay tuned. We're going to have a fun time today.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean in the chivalry.
Let's make sure we
Rap
play like the
Buddha.
New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
Like
eat a
makeup.
damn snack.
So yesterday was sad. It's depressing. And then it became New Year's. All of a sudden, the ball dropped. It was like the middle of October, and then all of a sudden, New Year's hit, and it was a big celebration. I want to bring in our guests. The first one I'm going to bring in is someone I'm becoming friends with. He's taller than me. He's more handsome than me. He's younger than me. He is one of my favorites, if not my favorite Jet content provider. He is very awesome to talk to, and I'm honored that he's come on the show again. Even though I have my sidekick with me, he's agreed to join me today. So I'm going to bring him in first. Matt O'Leary, what's up, pal?
Hey, Nick, what's going on, man? A Victory Monday. As you said, it's kind of a weird feeling today, right? Like it was 57 and a half of those minutes of the game yesterday. Not ideal, but what I've been saying in all my coverage after a win is a win, and you just take it.
Yeah. Now, I would love to just do the entire show with me and you making fun of this next guy, but I mean, I have a contract with him. I have to bring him in. Okay. I'm going to bring in my co-host. You see us during the week popping up. It's 3 straight weeks with a Victory Monday. Actually, 4 straight weeks because we did the bye week. Because with the Bills and Dolphins losing, we considered it a victory for us. So we did a show last week. And you see us on Wednesday nights on his channel with the Pride and Chaos show. He left. I went to bring him in and he left. He'll be back. Maybe something happened on his end.
Oh, no. Boy, he's bailing.
I literally hit add to stage and then the box disappeared. So, all right. He dissed us.
That's okay. It's better this way.
Yeah. So let's get into it, man. Ugly game, ugly weather. You know, you can't expect flowers to bloom in the middle of a monsoon. And I think that's what some fans are fixated on yesterday. Well, this was bad. Did you see the weather? Like the game plan, the traction, the ball, there was drops. You know, Lazard is known for his drops. You know, Breece Hall had a drop. Wilson had a drop. Conklin had one that was catchable, but I feel that the weather contributed to it yesterday. And Zach throws a laser. Lasers are hard to catch in the rain, right? Because they're moving so fast. You get your hands out there and it pops off. Excuse me. You know, a little credit goes to the Giants. Wilson had one that Trot came over and like kind of punched out with his hand. Would have been a nice gain. It's a good throw. It was funny to hear Matt Ryan say you got to put a little more on that throw because we've been screaming as Jets fans for the last 2.5 years. Get more touch on your throws. And now you hear, you know, an elite quarterback who played in the Super Bowl saying, all right, you got to fire that one in there. It's like, all right, we can't ever win. Dexter Lawrence is a man amongst boys. And when we had injury after injury after injury, it was kind of shocking that that he didn't get more. I think he had 15 pressures by himself, but we threw the ball 36 times. Or no, Zach had 36 attempts, so we even had more dropbacks with the sacks. That guy is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
he
is.
He's unbelievable. And especially on as you mentioned too, the interior of the offensive line had to do a ton of shuffling around with the injuries first. McGovern goes down. It's like, all right, I guess Wes Schweitzer is going to move over. And then he goes down. You're like, oh my God, who is this guy they just found off the street? Newman snapping footballs.
Yeah. It's we're gonna get into the injuries and the O-line. The O-line we could do a show on the Jets O-line for 2 hours every day. It could be like a weekday talk show. The state of the Jets line. And it would be something new to talk about every day. Phil Adams here, gonna be late.
Legend.
Yeah, don't bully chaos until I get back. All right, Phil, you party pooper. Billy Bilstein. I was told Matthew O'Leary is going to be on the show. Matthew O'Leary is my friend. The Jets won because they scored 13 and the Giants scored 10.
Genius comment, Billy. I love it. He is an avid caller to the Just Jets podcast. So yeah. I'm glad that he has made and found his way over here. I hopefully he sticks.
Yeah, he's been popping up on the Wednesday show Jeremy and I do on his channel, and he's popped over here on the last couple Monday. He was on a Friday too over here. Victory Monday. Yeah, Hank, we're celebrating today, bro. So yeah, Tyrod Taylor goes out, and the Giants offense went to a 4-year-old playing Madden. You couldn't even attempt to pass. You just had to just tell them, all right, you're running right, you're running left, you're running right, you're running left, and give the kid the control after you pick the play. That's what I did with the kids. I would be the quarterback, let them be the running back. Sure. And like, look, I'd point at the TV, just run right here, run straight, run right here, run straight. The kid was mobile, and I thought they could have opened it up a little bit, but they didn't have to, right? We gifted them a touchdown. Jermaine Johnson and Kayvon Thibodeau were playing a game of who can fuck this up for our team more.
That was tough.
With the unnecessary rough. As Quinnen has them in a bear hug.
Yeah.
Let go of him. You level him? Like, he's not breaking Quinnen's.
I know. That was the frustrating part, too, because there were 2 on that drive that extended it. Someone else had a penalty. Quincy, yeah.
And they started doing push-ups. I'm like, you idiot. You don't even know the flag's out behind you.
Quincy's been great this year, so I don't want to kill him. He has been absolutely fantastic. But
I'll kill him for that play.
Yeah, sure. That play reminded me.
You can make a bonehead play and still be an all-pro, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. That play reminded me of 2021, 2022 Quincy Williams, where he's just playing a little bit reckless. Like, I love that he flies around with his speed. He makes a ton of plays, but that's just one, like, you can't go up high today anymore. Like, they're gonna call that, and I understand. Like, I saw on Twitter, you were telling me you turn your phone off for these games. Always. You're better man than I am addicted to going on Twitter in breaks and just seeing, what the reaction is. And people were upset about those 2 calls. But unfortunately, in today's NFL, like, that's getting called. Both of those are going to get called. You have to know better than that. They were a little undisciplined. Yeah. They had 5 personal fouls in the game.
You can deliver punishment in a clean way. You can thump and be a thumper, an old school hitter, and put the shoulder into the ribs. You don't have to lead with your head and go at someone else's head. Like, I don't get how guys don't do it. Put the shoulder into the ribs, wrap around the waist, and you can hit him at 300 miles an hour, and they can't call a penalty on it. It's when it's up high. It's when you club the helmet as well, like Quincy did there. And I love that I'm sober now, because now I remember all these plays. I used to have to be like, wait, tell me what happened. But now everything's like vivid in my brains, which is fun. Hey, Tigo, what's up, buddy?
Tigo.
Talking Jets with Tigu. The land of the Tigologians. Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen it from Quincy. I mean, we saw it in the preseason game last year with the Eagles. He thumped Hurts on the opening drive. Like, I get it. You're a hitter. You're an old school linebacker with speed of a safety. But damn it, man. There's a time and the guy didn't even catch the ball. So it was a useless hit. He didn't even catch the pass.
I know. It's tough. That was a frustrating one. That drive was frustrating. But even still, like, that's the only time the Giants did anything all day.
Yeah.
Against this
40 yards of penalty. Well, it was 20 because the Jermaine Johnson's is only a 5-yarder because they were in the red zone.
Right. Oh, okay. Yep. That's
true. I think we had 30 yards of penalties on that drive. I think we jumped off sides once. I think there was one other.
Yeah,
you can't do that. You can't do that against good teams.
No, and also, how about Michael Clemens, the penalty on the punt to extend a drive for the Giants too? Like that's another one. You just that's such a avoidable mistake to happen, and on a punt on fourth down too,
Yeah.
man. Like you can't have that. The Jets again. We said we're happy the Jets won. They pulled it off 13-10, but the Giants were basically gift wrapping this game and saying, "Please, please take it," and the Jets were
Yeah.
giving everything
So
right.
they're, no, you keep it. You need this more than we do. Like,
Right?
the Jets tweet, the New York Jets. I love the tweets, the posts that come out from the New York Jets social media. Did you see the rat with Chivalry's Not Dead? It was a rat running with a bagel on the tracks and on the subway with
So
an L on it, and then it handed it to the Giant, and the Giant took the L and started eating it.
So
Who
good.
thinks of that? Like, I want that job where I could think of how can we troll this team, because you see how I troll Jeremy. Like,
Oh, it's
I
not-
love trolling Jeremy. Like, if I could troll other teams in the NFL and get paid for it, that would be like, that's my
Agreed.
niche in society.
Yeah, that's living the dream right there. They're so good though. Like they are so much more creative than I could ever be. I love that one. I also love, not as in that same creative light, but it still came out earlier today. The victory cams that they do after the games with the guys walking off. I think it's cool to get to see their reaction after a big emotional win like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. The Jets win cam,
Mhm.
right? What's up, Knob? Thanks for joining, buddy. So I think it's going to be a bigger loss than people want to admit. And I think you saw it yesterday with Woods going down, because they were just like, okay, you got all these pass rushers. We're going to run it right down your throat now. And they did. Like, we knew the pass wasn't coming. And it's amazing that we got 4 sacks, and they threw, what, 2 passes in the second half?
Yeah, defensive
We would
line
have had an 8-9 sack game if Tyrod Taylor stayed.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If they dropped it back more, you're 1000% right on that. Al Woods is going to be a bigger loss than people realize. I really like the addition of both Woods and Quentin Jefferson, both from that Seattle defense. I think have played a really nice role on this team. And Woods is, he's just a big body. He's going to eat in the run game. That's a big loss for this defense. Quentin Williams is great on the interior. But outside of that, a lot of their other interior guys are more pass rush specialists. They don't really have that, stout run stopper, which is what Al Woods was. Maybe Tanzel Smart comes up now, right? I think that would be the next step here.
He's more of a pass. Our buddy Dom C is saying that we got to pluck Jonathan Marshall off Pittsburgh's practice squad today.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm down for that.
That's a name to keep an eye on. He was more of a Tanzel's like, Quinnen
small,
light.
right?
He's like the Natty Ice version of Quinnen. He's a pass rusher. He's got that size. He's got that motor. But I don't really view. So we got guys who make run stops, but aren't run stoppers. Woods is that guy that you got to double him in the run game, or else he's just going to move men with ease, like a Chris Jenkins did back in the day, right? Like if you try to block him one-on-one, he's moving people. And he even showed he got the safety in the Denver game too, that he was able to get to the quarterback. So his role is not going to be as easily replaced as we think. And that might be something that we get exposed with long-term. Like, I couldn't believe we weren't doing more run blitzes. I couldn't believe we didn't have a 5-man D-line in at times to adjust to it. Go old school. Put Jefferson over to center and have Quinnen and JFM next to him with JJ and Huff on the outside. Go with a 5-man line. Treat it like Pop Warner. When you know the other team is going to run the ball 98% of the time, you load up your front and say, all right, we got Sauce and Reed. We can put 9 in the box. Go ahead. They were putting 9 in the box against us at certain points, and we were still throwing.
Right. That's the thing. Like it felt like you knew what they were going to do. They were afraid to have DeVito throw the football. The only times they had him throw was like these little swing passes to Saquon, and that was it.
They were play actions. They got him out of the pocket, and it was either a swing pass, and I think they tried to bring like the tight end or the wide receiver behind the line and out into the flat.
Yeah,
but we're sitting in zone, and it was just we're waiting for it. There was nowhere to go.
Exactly. And I'm with you. I think they could have dared them to throw even a little bit more. And maybe that's when you create a turnover or a mistake for DeVito in that spot. But yeah, that's sneaky. The Woods loss is going to be, a sneaky problem for this team. I think more people are going to be focused on the offensive line injuries and, maybe needing to add more at wide receiver and, questions about the quarterback. And, I get that. It's kind of the nature of the beast here with this team and just, football in general. But that's a big loss, losing Al Woods for the year.
Yeah, and it's another Achilles.
Go figure.
It's
3.
another Achilles. AVT, A-Rod, and Woods now. Let's discuss A-Rod real quick.
Yeah.
Stem cells for the win, huh? Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't
Christopher
think
Reeves is punching the air right now. He's like, I wanted this for years, and everyone laughed at me.
Yeah, he's doing something right, man. I really think, and I try my best to really be like pragmatic and keep a level head, but I think he's coming back for the regular season this year.
100%.
Really do.
My prediction is the Cleveland game.
Okay.
Because you get the Cleveland game. You don't want to bring him back on the last home game, which would be on that Sunday, Christmas Eve, I think, Washington.
Yeah.
And then he's got 4 days before the Cleveland game. You bring him back for the Cleveland game, and then you got 10 days off before the New England game. And that's only if, we win those 2 games. We win the games that we're supposed to win. There's a chance, right? If it's win 2 and you're in, you bring him back. If not, you say, all right, it's not worth it.
No, exactly. You're only bringing him back if you're still relevant and in the mix, which right now they are. And I hope that, continues for the next few weeks. But, Zach and the rest of the team has to continue to do their job for us to get to that point. But if they're in it, I think he's making a comeback in late December.
Yeah. All right. We're good here. I want to bring in the greatest co-host who ever lived in Brooklyn and travels the world and now lives in Sacramento. Jeremy, you're not the greatest co-host in the world, just the greatest co-host with that criteria.
Right. No, I get almost the worst co-host with that criteria as well.
Funny how it works.
Correct. Well, who knows? We got to check, like, maybe Giants fans. Maybe someone from the Giants went from Brooklyn out to Sacramento. Well, so we're just recapping the game. We went over, the Woods injury being bigger than people may think, and you saw with how they were able to run the ball down our throat. I mentioned that Dom C is big on plucking Jonathan Marshall, who we had from the Pittsburgh practice squad today, one of the names to keep an eye on. He put out a good tweet with offensive linemen and 3 defensive linemen that we could pluck. So check that out. It's at DC_NY Jets, I believe is his name on Twitter. But I thought that was a good read. What else did we cover, Matt? We made fun of Jeremy a little bit.
Oh,
we got to do that. Oh, Jeremy, there was this guy popped up. He popped up on our show the other day.
Oh yeah,
he
came in last week.
Friend of the program.
I had a Friday night hangout, man. We do like I used to do when I first started doing the shows. We do a Friday night hangout. This was when I was drinking, so I'd be like, "Oh, Friday night, 9:00. I don't have the kids. Drinking, we'll hang out." And we've done like 6-hour shows.
Wow.
With Adam Y2K, Tigo, Buffalo back in his early days. Gunny's first ever popping on when someone else was popping on my channel on a Friday night. Jeremy had it and then said to me, "Hey, we got to get you your own time slot. Why don't you take Friday night? And then we'll do like a hangout, like a less, like this past Friday, we were talking about the greatest musical voices of all time. So it's more of a hangout instead of like
I like that.
A bullet point like Jet Show. Yeah, if you're ever available on Friday night, man, come hop on. It's fun.
I'll make sure to hop in.
You're young though. You got a girlfriend. You have a life. Friday nights.
Yeah, usually Friday night is date night because Sundays are off limit.
Yeah.
But if there's ever a Friday where I'm not going out to a dinner or something like that, I'm hopping in the stream.
Nice.
Friday,
or when you get home. Or when you get home afterwards. Like we went from 8:00 to like 12:15 on Friday.
Oh, there we go.
The Friday night stream is the stream that you are most likely to get yourself in a lot of get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
You got to come up with like an alter ego and turn the camera off so no one knows it's you, and then we'll have you in that way.
Okay, fair enough.
We got to protect the namesake.
I like that plan.
So, Jeremy, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts
Well,
on the game, and then we'll move on. We kind
Well,
of Matt. You have anything else that if you want to cover on the game too when he's done? Go ahead.
Okay.
I said it kind of like at halftime. The last thing I said to Matt and to Ryan and to Green Bean was, they said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think we're going to get some very ugly win and be kind of upset that we have an anemic offense as far as the future is concerned. But this is Victory Monday, and I'm just going to enjoy the fact that we won because that's what we do. And I don't know how, like, I'm not going to sit here on Victory Monday and complain and be bitter about all the things that, that didn't do. Monday is the day to just be happy we got the win. We're 4-3. We've won 3 football games in a row. I've been a fan of this team a long time. We don't get many seasons where we're 4-3 even. So I'm not going to deprive myself of at least enjoying that. And then as we get closer to next week, I'll start worrying about this and that and the things that we have to improve on and all that stuff. But right now, it's Victory freaking Monday. And I want everybody to know, because I'm getting a little sick and tired of the narrative of, but the lowly Giants, the lowly Broncos. Every time the Eagles were caught by surprise. Like, it's always an excuse for why we win. Denver just kicked the shit out of Kansas City. We played that Denver. We played the Denver with the healthy defense, and we freaking beat them. The Giants are not the team from week 1 and week 2. They've been playing much better. And we didn't almost lose to DeVito. We almost lost to freaking a really good defense.
Mother Nature.
We have Mother Nature and a really good defense. The Giants have been playing really good defense. They got a great defensive line. I'm not saying it was pretty. I'm not saying that we'll talk about the things that we have to do. But the reality is we won the game. Respect that. It's not easy winning NFL games. And we freaking won the game, and we need to celebrate that and just be happy about that.
And I think Phil, thank you for joining us back from the doctor, has the best comment to describe the Jets win, and also Jeremy's face. Ugly is the new beautiful. That's your next tattoo, Jeremy.
You don't know this, Nick, but when Garrett Wilson got that 9-yard catch and it was really close to that first down, and it was just missed, like we just missed the first down. It was
the toe tap on the sideline.
No, there was a couple of plays like that, but on the first one of the game where we just missed the first down, it was really close. Greenby was like, "Oh man, we just missed it." And I said, "By the length of Nick's chopped off toe."
Nice.
Oh, that is harsh.
That's good. That's good. Hey, it's fine because my daughter roasted me pretty good and said the giant kicker looked like he was kicking with your foot. Matt, she's 12. Hey man, I've passed the roasting torch to my daughter.
I'm glad you're a good sport about it, Nick, because that's really funny.
Yeah, I love it. My fantasy football team is Nicky Nine Toes.
I mean, Matt, you might know this. Matt, you might not know this, but the week before that, 3 weeks ago, when Tippmann got hurt and hurt his thigh, Greenby was screaming, "Just shove something in there and throw him back on." And I said, "Shove Nick John's cut off toe in there." So it comes up a lot. His toe comes up a lot. And apparently that toe that he had chopped off is a legendary chopped off toe. Like, it could do many things.
High healing powers.
Except survive a fall down the stairs.
That's one. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, stupid diabetes. All right, Jeremy, Debbie Downer. You think of a segue after that. I'm sitting here trying to hold tears back, you son of a bitch.
Well, I want to say, isn't it interesting how whenever Zach is put in a situation where there's no thinking and he's just like fight or flight, kind of like just pure human instinct, right? Pure panic. 22 seconds left, pure panic. I understand they were in prevent defense or whatever. I don't care about that. He couldn't throw a 7-yard pass behind the line of scrimmage. He threw it into his running back's feet. But when he's in complete non-thought, just gut reaction, he throws it 30, 40 yards in the air, a bullet in people's chests. Isn't that incredible?
His strength, though?
Yeah. But
his strength is not the touch pass to the flat. His strength is, how can I show off my arm? Ooh, here's a play. Boom, missile up the middle.
Can we put something? Can we shut his brain off? Like put him on something that shuts his thinking down, and just let him play out of animal instinct, and we'll be great.
I've been screaming for this for 2.5 years. Start the game in a hurry up.
Yeah.
Start the game in a hurry up. Give the kid the hey. We believe in you. Excuse me, hiccup and a burp at the same time. Damn coffee. We believe in you. We know we can run the ball with Brees. Everyone thinks we're going to come out and run it. Let's give you a 2-minute drill. Let's come out in a hurry up. How about every single time? Something we called for Kansas City. I was screaming it in the stands in Denver. Every single time there's man, you should just feed Garrett. And he finally started doing it yesterday, right? And Garrett, I think Garrett missed 2 plays that he could have had near 140 yards. He should have 2 more catches. The one on the sideline, that again, he caught with his body. I get it. It's wet. You probably don't want to go out and catch it here on that. But if he goes and catches that with his hands and snatches that in aggressively, what does Rodgers always say? You got to have late hands, right? You waiting for that ball to come to you. These safeties close in. The guy punches it out. You go get that with your hands and you turn your back quick to the sideline. It's a catch. It's a 20-something yard catch. I think we left a lot of passing yards out there yesterday. Zach threw for 240 with the drops. He should have had over 300. A lot of people were calling for him to have a 300-yard day. And he just missed it, I think, with a couple of the plays. You know, you make that pass to Hall. You're right. You make that pass to Hall, that might be a touchdown. He may still be running now. Like, that would have been the play to seal the game.
He threw a pass to Lazard that Lazard dropped. That was as perfectly placed as you can throw a pass.
Yeah, but he went in and caught it. His fingers were tucked in under the what the hell? What are you making mashed potatoes in Scary Movie like Chris Elliott? What the hell was that? Y'all want to make a catch? No. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was bad. That was a beautiful ball too. Like Jeremy said, you can't put that one any better. But it's so wild that that's such a perfect throw. And then, 24 seconds, game on the line. He as Jeremy was saying, shuts the brain off, goes out there, has an incredible drive. And 3rd and 1, check down to Breece Hall, where he could have, took it and turned upfield and got some extra yards, threw it at his feet. I think it's just the inconsistencies that are a little bit frustrating because there's a lot of talent there and drops, the weather. There was a lot that went into it. But I thought Zach missed a couple of throws and probably held on to it a little bit too long at times too.
Always,
yeah. I think it was Dom or Buffalo last night in our DM chat was saying he or Tigo, I forget. Tigo, correct me if it was you. I'm sorry. That he was seeing the ghost again in the pocket because there was a clean pocket, but he was like, oh shit, they're not blocking for this long. And he was like breaking away, but there was no pressure. So the trust issue with the line wasn't there. And you saw that Zach was getting a little bit of happy feet. And we saw it for the first time in weeks. He did the runaround. He did the horseshoe run a time or two, so that's not being comfortable in the pocket, and rightfully so. When you got Lawrence and Thibodeau feasting on you, and I want to give credit, Phil, we're going to get into the injuries in a moment. Jeremy, take the wheels here. I got to take this medical call real quick.
Why not Matt O'Leary take the wheels? He's freaking Matt O'Leary.
Matt, take the wheel.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I was doing it on Tuesday night last week, right? With no Green Bean, and then Ryan had to go do some fatherly duties. I wish I saw your DM before that. I would have sent you but actually how Ryan has it set up, I wouldn't have been able to add you into the call.
Because he uses that weird technology. But I saw you alone. I was just, man, I'll go in there and help you. And some of the bad ideas off.
Yeah, if it was a StreamYard, 1000%. I wish I could have just sent that link over. But he does. I don't even know what the hell it's called. His technology is just another level.
We do that all the time here. We're like, especially when I first started the channel, I didn't have that many people. It was like I found like people that were just in the stream watching, like that's how I met Tigo. Tigo was a guy who just started this channel and he was in the chat and he seemed really smart. And I said, "Hey, do you want to just come in here and join or something?" And sent him the link, and he came in, and he was great. And that was it. He was someone that comes into the channel, and it was like, and I met Nick on somebody's channel, but like, and then now there's this guy Johnny Jimenez who did like a whole show with you with Nick. Like
he came in. He was like, "Hey, is this a call-in show?" I'm like, "It's Friday Night Hangout." I'm like, "Come hang out." And he was on for like, I think 2.5 hours. He was going to pop in for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and he hung the whole night.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I do want to add this real quick. I'm sorry, Matt. Didn't mean to step on you there.
Oh, you're good.
So Tigo tricked you, huh, Jeremy? You said he sounded really smart in the chat. Tigo just flat out fooled you.
He was excellent when he came in. I was like, oh my God. I didn't hear of him yet. He was just starting his channel.
It's like the old Dave Chappelle. Gotcha, bitch.
I was like, his takes are very different, but he's very good at delivery. And you could have different takes.
Hey,
not everybody, like, you don't have to always agree. Every content provider doesn't have to believe the same thing. It's all about delivery. And he could deliver.
Yeah. He definitely gets the wheels turning in your head with his takes and opinions on a lot. A good way. It makes you think outside the box a little bit. I had 50 subs when Jeremy had me on.
Wow.
Nice.
He's grown a lot since then.
After being on with Jeremy, it went down to 42. People were like, "Oh, this egghead."
He learned a valuable lesson, then his channel exploded.
Oh, that's great.
Hair and charisma matter.
Not associating yourself with bald, big.
That's why I wear a hat, man.
Oh, man.
I want to get into the injury situation. We did have a tweet. I know Phil was asking. Connor McGovern has. I'm looking for it. There's tweets from Pelissero and Ian Rappaport and Schefter coming in from all over the league. Connor McGovern suffered a dislocated kneecap, sources say. There is some damage that it caused, but there's a chance he doesn't need surgery. McGovern will get a second opinion and is considered week to week. I jokingly said, "Oh, if it was, I thought with Becton, a dislocated kneecap was 2 years."
What about the other one? What about Schweitzer?
No word yet.
Nothing yet.
You're the Jewish source on the channel. I figure if anyone had an in on that story, it'd be you.
We just need a freaking center. I mean, we got to have. I mean, Tittman might come back, but I really want him to play right guard.
Yeah, especially with the run game and how he was doing with stealing. Him and Mitchell were getting some good chemistry together. You saw it in the Denver game when Brees broke the run. I don't want to keep messing with the chemistry. It's amazing. Tomlinson and Becton have been together on that side. If we can get Tittman and Mitchell together, even though Mitchell's not the greatest, Tigo, don't assault me. He's not the greatest yet. But they were building chemistry together. And offensive line, as we know, like when we started doing well, we had the same offensive line 3 weeks in a row, before Tucker went out in that third game in Denver. So it definitely looks like we're going to have a new center this week. I don't know if it's Newman, if Tittman's ready to go. I don't want Tittman to come back, not be ready, and then it gets worse, right? Because if you come in when there's a muscle tear not healed, and then you're planting on that quad all day blocking, and you rip more of that, now you're done for the year. And we don't need him, 6 to 8 to 10 weeks because of the muscle rips. So let him get right. My goal, get him right for Buffalo and Miami. That's huge. I know these are 2 AFC games coming up, but the divisional games with where we are in the division right now and how tight the division is going to be after Cincinnati beats Buffalo and Kansas City beats Miami, we're going to be right there for a division down the stretch run. So get Tittman right. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely don't want to rush him back, but it would be huge to get him back because that feels like it would stabilize your line a little bit. Whether it's at guard, I liked how he played at guard. I'm with Jeremy there, but if you need to play him at center, I think you would do it over having to play, a guy like, Newman, who thank God he was able to come in and, perform. And I'm glad he got bounced back after the fumbled exchange with Zach Wilson. That's, all well and good. He was, kind of hero in that game, but I don't know if that's a long-term answer there. So getting him back would be really big. And I think the Jets have to be active in whether it's free agency or a trade before tomorrow, something, because the interior is starting to look a little rough with all these injuries, which is really unfortunate. But I think all things considered, pretty good news with McGovern. I thought it sounded like with that injury, it looked like he could have been done for the year. So I think you sign up for week to week right now.
Yeah,
let's be real though. It is a Jets injury.
Yeah.
So he might be, his career might be over. The way Robert Saleh gives reports on injuries, he could be in a body cast tomorrow, right? Jeremy, I have a question for you. Yeah. What did Zach Wilson say to Newman when he came into the huddle for the first time?
I thought you don't work in the rain.
Dude, I'm throwing you a Seinfeld softball here. You missed it?
I just gave you the Seinfeld answer. Newman said, I don't work in the rain.
Oh, all right. I just know the one line about him.
Hello, Newman.
Well,
hello,
Newman.
What happened to neither rain nor sleet? It's the first one.
It's the greatest line. It's the first one.
Such a good show.
I'm not a big Seinfeld guy, but through the years, I know the hello, Newman.
Or when he gets like foiled by Newman, like something happens and he knows that Newman betrayed him, and he goes, Newman. Like with the dog. How did you know the dog came from us, Newman? Do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, Matt?
No, I've never been a Curb guy. I gotta give it a shot, but I loved Seinfeld. I've seen it, a couple of times, but I never did it. I'm sure I would love it though.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is like, imagine now George Costanza. The focus is on him,
right? And
multiply the uncomfortableness by like 10.
Well, it was on HBO. It was on cable, right?
So Larry is George Costanza. The character is based on Larry. So the show, the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I always love the clips, like the shorts or the reels that you see. I always enjoy it, but I've never sat and watched it.
Oh, it's just such a great show. There's a show where he thinks I won't give away the whole plot, but he thinks for some reason that he's not Jewish, and for the episode that he doesn't think he's Jewish.
Oh, the
turtlenecks. He's drinking on airplanes. He's relaxed. He's not nervous anymore. He's social. It was the best episode ever.
He was me.
He dropped every Jewish stereotype. It was suddenly Nick Shine.
I saw the clip just recently of when there was a pro and anti-Israeli protest, and the one girl was trying to get him to come over to the other side, and she was going to sleep with him, and all of his friends were like, "You can't go over there. You can't sleep. What are you doing? You're turning your back on all of us." And he's like, "Oh, look at her."
So good.
That was classic. That was great.
Team Dr. The carousel offensive line is exhausting. Yeah, it's never ending. It's been year after year. They changed the I think I told you guys before, my kid's mom, her cousin was Joe Giacobbe. He was strength and conditioning coach for years, and when Saleh came in, they got rid of them and brought in more sports science. I guess it's the same science that Travis Kelce applies to with Pfizer. There's not much behind it because we keep getting injury after injury after injury. It's
I just think it's bad luck. We've always had it. We've always had this kind of luck. I mean, it goes back to freaking Ken O'Brien, Vinny Testaverde, Chad Pennington. Every time we get something good, it's taken away from us. Every time.
But Zach stays healthy.
Yeah.
He missed time the first 2 years.
Say again, Matt?
I said not even. He missed time the first 2 years.
Yeah, he missed time those first couple of years. But bite your tongue. Everybody's saying how much hate Zach, bench Zach, bench Zach. What are we going to do without Zach? Trevor Seaman?
You can't do that. You can't do that. I did see a report that's saying Tyrod Taylor is still in the hospital. I hope he's right. Because when you get you get a hit like that, man, you worry about a punctured lung or a lung collapse. And he's already had a lung collapse when the San Diego, they gave him an injection.
I was going to say, didn't that happen to him already? He had a collapse.
That's how Herbert got the job.
Right.
Who hit him?
Quincy.
Okay.
Quincy closed in. Someone was on him, like tackling him, but Quincy came in, I think, and popped him before he went down.
I don't remember the play that well.
Tigo says,
I thought the way he grasped, I thought he like broke his wrist when he hit the ground. I thought like his wrist rolled up because it looked like he grabbed at his wrist. But what I'll speak from experience. When I fell down the stairs, I fell, I tripped. I had knee surgery and had a brace on, and I slipped and I pulled to get off the knee, and I went head first down the stairs.
Oh.
I hit here and bruised ribs, and like the first thing I did was like curl my hand up, like to like just tighten everything. And that's what Taylor looked like he did. Like he brought his arm up, and it looked like wrist, but I can relate to too many injuries. Life sucks. That's why I don't leave the house. You can't even stay in the house because I get hurt here.
It's true. What Tico said is right. When the Jets played in Shea Stadium, they didn't have all these injuries. Richard Todd never got hurt. Everyone before him, it was started with when we moved to the Meadowlands. Ken O'Brien, started with his rotator cuff, and that kind of, screwed his career up. It all started when we moved to Giant Stadium, and we left
the Meadowlands. The Meadowlands. We don't say the G word.
The Meadowlands. Yeah, the G.
So back to Long Island. Are we in for that? Is that what we're calling for?
I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey. God no, I'll never go to a game again.
I know, but Matt, I'm with you, man. Growing up in Brooklyn, Canarsie, where I was, I would have loved it if they were in Long Island. I would have been thrilled. Yeah, Shea Stadium was 15 minutes from me.
Right. From where it's Queens, obviously, but that's a 20-minute, 25-minute commute versus 4 hours at times trying to get back.
Can't you just take the helicopter in now? Can't you call Woody and just be like, hey, I need the chopper. I'm coming in for a game.
No, I think I'm too critical of Woody. I don't think I don't think he knows who I am, but if he did, I don't think he would like me.
What's crazy is I used to drive through Long Island all the time when I went to Stony Brook for college and everything. And I was going to say, hey, Matt, if we knew each other then, I don't know if you were born then.
when were you going to Stony Brook?
From 80. Hold on. 91.
No, already no.
91 to 94.
I was born in 95. I'm 28.
Oh my God, you weren't even alive yet.
I'm sorry, guys.
Wait a minute. Jeremy, do you have an offspring running around on the island?
Uh-oh.
No, he's tall and handsome. There's no way he's related to you. You thought it was a dig at you, Mag, but you had to wait for it to come full circle.
It comes
no
all
offense to
back,
Mrs. O'Leary. I'm sure she's a fine, respectable human being and would never even
look at Jeremy. It just makes me realize. It makes me realize how long it's been since I lived in Long Island, like at Stony Brook, and was, hanging out there and everything. Because I'll tell you, like the thing that freaks my mind out is when I went to Stony Brook, Patchogue was a small town. Like we knew some local people from Patchogue that went to Stony Brook, and they're like they would know each other from the businesses. It was a small town. And now here we are. I haven't been there, but people are telling me it's like the hot spot of Long Island. So it's
absolutely.
It's nuts.
Tigo, I just want to add this about Shea Stadium. There were injuries. Did you see Joe Namath try to walk and run? They just didn't have MRIs back then to diagnose the injuries, and they just went out and played anyway.
They just freaking played.
Here, have a cigarette. You'll be fine.
Yeah, have a cigarette, put the fur coat on, warm up. You'll be good, bro. Oh, it was CJ, not Quincy on the hit.
Yeah, I just watched it back.
What the hell did Quincy say
Hey,
about
Matthias. Matthias, are you still in Hawaii? I know you said you'd be out there. Matthias went out to Hawaii for a wedding and stayed for like 2 weeks. I think he moved there. He's been there so long.
Apparently, Stony Brook's a really good school now because Kuka, that's another thing I'll tell you about Stony Brook. When I went to Stony Brook, you didn't have to become a doctor and you didn't have to be Asian. You could go to Stony Brook as a regular white guy like me. It was not the same school back then that it is now. It was actually more famous when I went there because I went there in the early 90s. It was famous for the 70s because it was the biggest stoner school in the world.
Okay. They have a huge radio station. I know that. I knew the guy who ran it pretty well. God knows if he was there at the time when you went in the Stone Age, but
Yeah, we honestly had like our own Chinatown, and I'm not being racist. I'm being honest and serious. Like there was a whole quad that was like when you were walking through, because I went after the girls. So when I would walk through, there'd be like
literally he went after them with like duct tape and
Watch it.
electric grills with woks, rice make. I mean, it was Little Asia. It was Little Asia, like in the building. It was crazy.
Wow.
So
everyone tries to make college like home, right? If you have that large contingency, you cater to the demographic. You make it like home.
Hey, I love diversity, especially in college.
I like this. Kuka says Nubby and Chubby in the afternoon.
Oh,
so it's a solo show with just me. Nubs and Chubs on Victory Monday.
He says I look like a frequent customer at the Comac Motor Inn.
Oh my God, the Comac.
What is that? I don't even get it.
Oh, that'd be like they got a 3-hour special. You go, you do your little thing with Lady of the Night, and you're on your merry way.
That's hard.
Oh, it's a short stay.
Yeah, like a sketchy motel,
right.
roadside motel. Yeah.
In Central in Broadway, we got the Loop Motor Inn Lodge. It's looks like a castle right off of Route 1 in Woodbridge and Broadway, and it's infamous for short stays. They have rooms that are like the Jungle Room, heart-shaped beds, things like that. Like it's a Freak Fest motel when you walk in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was going there before you were. Right when you were born. You were in diapers when I was frequenting that place.
There we go.
Jesus Christ, Nick.
What? What'd I do?
You just admitted that you'd frequent those places.
Dude, I was 17, 18 years old, and when you wanted to fool
paying
around,
for sex?
What?
Paying for sex?
No, it's a short stay. You bring someone there to fool around with.
Oh, because I had a different childhood because my parents, by the time I was 16, 17, were leaving every weekend to go to my dad's a musician to play folk music and go to folk festivals. So I had my house to myself every weekend. I didn't have to go to short stay hotels.
All right, man. So you gotta improvise and adapt. That's the key. Man. That's the
I just realized I didn't think of that. You needed a place to go.
Yeah, that's what they are. It's like, okay, you don't need a whole overnight. You need 3-4 hours in the afternoon. Or if your sex life is Zach Wilson, 24 seconds, no problem.
I can't imagine how many pregnancies were conceived in situations like that in those places.
This is way better than talking about McGovern injury. This is the injury segment of the show. Why? Because we're discussing where did it go? The STD capital, Hofstra.
Hofstra, that's close. That's more my neck of the woods. I'm like 10 minutes from Hofstra.
That would have been convenient when they used to practice there and had camp.
It was. I loved it. The summers when I was a kid, up until 2008 was the last year they were there. Multiple times a week, we would go to camp. It was free. You didn't need tickets. We'd show up. It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw I saw Mark Gastineau when I went. My friend's dad took us, from Brooklyn. We went over and Mark Gastineau came out, and it was like he looked like a star. He glowed. He was glowing. He came out and everybody just lost it. Like everybody's freaking out. Mark. Yeah.
My dad has a great Gastineau story from very similar to that. So practice in Uniondale Hempstead, and he did he's a tow truck driver, and he did a lot of work in that area. One time he's driving in the tow truck, and this had to be, I guess, 80s when car phones first came out, and he said he saw Mark Gastineau in his convertible on the car phone rocking his white 99 jersey. He wanted everyone to know who he was, driving around Long Island rocking the 99 jersey and talking on the car phone in the commercial.
That one thing that no one can ever take away from Gastineau is he enjoyed his fame.
Oh yeah, he was cool though. So it worked.
He enjoyed it.
You guys want to all get collectively outraged together?
Oh no.
Zach Rosenblatt just tweeted, PFF gave Thomas Morstead a punting grade of 61.4.
What? Come on.
Greatest punting performance.
And then he adds the gif of The Simpsons with Mr. Burns going, "Release the hounds," and everybody runs off.
It sounds like probably not. Now,
Oh, the hell, you Ian
That-
Rappaport popping up.
That just shows how how PFF should be ignored. That's just ridiculous. I don't know. Could you have a better day as a punter than he had?
No.
He had 2 punts that fucking stopped inside the 5-yard line one time.
And then another one that went out inside the 5.
Right,
out of
out of
bounds.
bounds. I mean, like it's the most amazing punting performance.
Some guys don't do that in an entire season. He did that in like 2.5 quarters.
Unreal.
Somebody
That's-
tweeted a response. It said, "This has PFF George written all over it." That's a good reply.
Oh, God.
All right, so Schweitzer couldn't put weight on his shin. I think it's safe to say that both of these guys are going short-term pup. I think they're both going to minimum 4 weeks, just because of what they do, right? Like everything they do is plant and block and drive. You can't do that on a bad wheel. You can't be effective and do that on a bad wheel. So let's kind of get into one of the positives. I always, Matt, I know I'm negative when I talk about life, but when I talk about the Jets, for some reason, the Jets are the only thing in life I'm optimistic about, and they've given me exactly zero reason to be that way. But the only a positive that I take, and Tigo can attest to this, halftime I popped on the DM group that we have, and I was like, one positive is that these injuries happened before the trade deadline, and Joe D can maybe work some magic. If it happens next week, you're going practice squad. You know, today you can make a move now to address it. So you have any names that you're thinking about? Or is it just, hey, Joe, go get this done?
Yeah, I don't have someone like off the top of my head at that position, specifically on the offensive line. I want to dive a little deeper and see if we could pull some names before the deadline. But like, I know not interior, but La'el Collins is kind of just sitting out there as a free agent. Maybe it's, seeing how bad Ben Jones's concussions really work, and you bring him in and see how he is. He was worked with, Keith Carter during his time in Tennessee. Tigo had another one in here. Who's it? Hudson, right?
Rodney Hudson and Ben Jones.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's definitely moves to be made here. And I hope
from Jones is the one who's from the Titans who retired, right?
Yeah, he I don't know if he officially retired. He had concussion problems last year, so I think that was a big reason why he didn't sign. So I don't know. It doesn't hurt to call him up and see.
We definitely going to sign and bring in a center. Like we have to bring in a legitimate center, right? I mean, we're not going to
do that with his first year. Ryan Khalil.
Yeah,
he brought in Khalil, who was semi-retired to come in, right?
Yeah, it didn't work, but I mean, you got to go down swinging now. At this point, you can't just run out with these practice squad guys the whole rest of the year.
They have to.
Let me, Jeremy. Let me take this real quick. Phil, This is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about my show or channel, because I feel that you guys are a part of it. Like, you're sitting around listening to friends talk, and that's the part of the show that I've always wanted. Like, I didn't want to be talking at you or reading to people. That's the nicest compliment that I think that you can give a show. It's like, hey, this is just a chill conversation with people talking about something that they love. And listen, we go off the rails. We go off the tracks. We were talking about favorite singer voices the other night. Jeremy always brings up food or school and a bunch of things that happened before Matt was born. But you never know what you're going to get when you tune in. And I think that's one of the coolest things that you can say as feedback. So that was nice, man. Thank you.
I just can't believe that Phil Adams used the word bar.
No, pub.
Pub? I can't believe he didn't say pub.
All right, maybe now it is an insult. He didn't go with his homeland word. All right, I retract.
No, he was trying to talk our language.
There you go.
Trying to be all Americanized.
He had to go on an Urban Dictionary and be like, what do they call it over there?
What do they call it over there? Drinking establishment?
Yes. So, any names you see us acquiring through trade outside of the line? Do you see us going for a wide receiver? Do you see Lawson, who was inactive again, a healthy scratch? Do you think that was a, hey, don't get injured, we'll move you?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I think he's going to get moved before tomorrow. I would like to see them add another receiver. Honestly, they need help on the line too. So I don't want to make it just like, oh, they're one receiver away from having this a great offense. But outside of Garrett, like I like Alan Lazard, but it kind of falls off quickly after that. You know, Xavier Gibson's still young, a player learning on the fly. Randall Cobb, I don't really trust as like a third receiver option. I'm glad they activated Jason Brownlee finally, but it's very challenging to have a wide receiver room with 2 UDFA, rookie free agents, playing significant snaps. So Cortland Sutton, Hunter Renfrow, get me one of those guys.
Right? Like, did everyone collectively be happy that Kansas City lost and then go, oh shit, now the Broncos might keep Judy and Sutton? Like, did anyone else have that thought watching it? Like, like Taylor Swift, Shake It Off is playing as Denver's ultimately trolling Kansas City. Kudos to them. But then you're like, oh no, they're 3-5 now. Like, they won 2 in a row.
I just don't see. I see us like when we say go get a wide receiver. I don't see it being like when Connor Hughes said, "Oh, if Javonte Adams or on Judy were on the market, the Jets would definitely be in." I'm hearing what, like, I'm with Matt O'Leary, but I'm guessing Matt means pick up a functional wide receiver. Yep. Doesn't mean trade all your assets for like a star. Like, why would you bring in Davante Adams and give up whatever they would probably have to give up? Don't get me wrong. I mean, Davante Adams is great, but why would they be looking to do that when you have an inconsistent quarterback? And I said this to Connor Hughes. I replied to his tweet right away. I go, you think they're thinking about a star wide receiver? They got no center. The offensive line is battered, and they have an inconsistent quarterback who's struggling to even find a receiver. I go, we got those problems to solve. Now, do we bring in another body? Like, you don't have to replace McCall Hardman with a star, but give us an experienced, functional wide receiver with experience, sure. But we're not going to start trading first-round picks and stuff. We can't do that. We need to use those picks next year, in my mind, that first-round pick and that third-round pick, offensive line, without question.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even be surprised if round 1 was some sort of trade down to recoup a pick with the O-line depth that's there. Listen, it's got to be O-line or wide receiver, depending on what we do in free agency. If you re-sign Becton, Tittman, AVT, Tomlinson, I have no issue with if you re-sign Becton and everyone else comes back good. I have no issue with taking a weapon who can get open in man coverage in round 1 and then take in the best interior lineman in round 3. And then you can put Tittman either place. If it's a guard who's the highest rated guy you have, Tittman, we're going to bump you to center. If it's a center, Tittman, we're going to keep you a guard. So I think there's his positional flexibility, another Joe Douglas staple, can help us in the draft next year. So if Becton keeps improving, I don't think I have no issue with Becton and Vera Tucker being our tackles if both are healthy. If there's no injuries the rest of the way, Vera Tucker should come back okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like the idea of being flexible in that spot where if you like a tackle, great. Take a tackle and have AVT play on the interior. Or if you like an interior guy, great. Take him and have AVT play right tackle. I'm good with that. Absolutely.
I definitely like the idea of trading down if there's a partner. Also, yeah, if you could pick up and recoup that second round pick, maybe in something else, and go down. I don't know how many spots will be. We don't know where we're going to draft. I don't want to bring that up as a conversation, but I'm just saying, if we could trade down some spots and get a second round pick and still get a guy that we want in the first round, that would be amazing.
Oh, Tigo, it's popular with me because when I watch these wide receivers and like Lazard is a tight end playing. I said the other day, Alan Lazard is the tight end version of CJ Uzomah. Very good blocker, not very effective in the passing game, right? He's a great blocker, but you're not getting what you thought you'd get out of him. And I think CJ and Allen are like equals at their position. You need a guy who can get open and man. Don't forget, you have Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. You get a guy like Egbuka from Ohio State, or the kid whose name slips me, Tigo, help me, from Washington, in that middle first round. Guys who can dog man coverage and add that to Gibson evolving in the slot, Wilson. Now you're cooking with gas. Now you got guys who can beat man coverage. Now you got a quarterback who can put that ball anywhere he wants with these guys who will get it out on time and create a lot of catch and run. So I don't think wide receiver is something to sleep on. I know everyone's screaming for an O-line, but I don't think it's something that we should just dismiss and say it has to be tackle.
Yep.
And never sleep on D-line. With the Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, never sleep on D-line. They are going to keep replenishing this.
That'd be nuts. We got to build an offensive line.
Yeah, they do. They really
know.
And it's like, I'm fine with Becton and Vera Tucker theoretically as our starters, but I feel like this team needs 3 real tackles. Like let's bring in another like high draft pick tackle, someone very, very competent and capable, ready to start. And if they're really amazing in camp, then you freaking put AVT back at guard, right? And you have all this flexibility. But I understand that Becton and AVT would be fine as tackles, but I don't feel secure going into a season like that because one of them is going to get hurt. I mean, it just feels like it's automatic at this point. It feels like we need to have 3 very good tackles to begin a season, and we need to have 3 very good interior linemen. Like, we need that problem of how are we keeping these guys on the bench, and that'll probably be when there's no injury. When we have guys that are too good to be on the bench, that's when it's going to happen that they don't get a chance because there's no injury. But I feel like that's what we have to do if we want to be able to make the most out of next season. We're going to have Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know how many chances we're going to get. The window's closing. And if you look at the last couple of years, we just need to be stacked at offensive line. It needs to be a priority.
I love this name, Phil. The MetLife turf is the carpet of death.
I like that.
That is fantastic. I'm going to use that on Twitter and everywhere on the show. I'm going to credit you, but yeah. And it's a brand new surface. That's the part that's so frustrating is that they went and got, listen, fuck the concerts. Get grass. You want to have your concert here? You pay for whatever needs to be done to transition it. Done.
Just lay down grass for the love of God. They have billions of dollars. Just freaking put grass down.
Foxborough has concerts. All these other places with grass have concerts. They make it work. Why can't it work here?
Shea Stadium. I saw the Rolling Stones at Shea Stadium. I saw Billy Joel at Shea Stadium. I saw Pink Floyd at Yankee Stadium. It's freaking possible.
It is. And I think after this year, you just have to do it. The thing that sucks is both teams have to agree. And if one decide, if the Giants are like, no, we paid for this, we're keeping this.
I just wanted to throw in, because it seems like the trend for me to do so, that all of the shows I just mentioned seeing before
Matt O'Leary was born. I picked up on it.
I know that music, though. Come on, you gotta.
He knows who they are.
The Long Island guy doesn't know who Billy Joel is.
I once asked O'Leary when I called into a show in the early days. I once said to him, there was a guy, his name was like Fire Marshal Ed or something like that. I don't know if you ever heard of him. And O'Leary just said, I know about Fireman Ed. I'm not 3 years old.
He babes me. That's our relationship, Jeremy and I. He has to explain it to me. Like I only know the world after 2000 and on. That's it.
Also, when I was first talking to you, or like in the chat or something, I said something about being a little guy, and you said, I'm 6'4".
Yeah. Jeremy came out for the opener last year, and he said, I was like, oh wow, I'm like, you're bigger than I expected, because the angle he sits at, I always thought he was like a little like Danny DeVito, like
Everyone
penguin,
thinks I'm
like
a
troll
penguin.
like guy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wow, you're like a full size guy. He goes, do you know who's a goddamn giant? He's like, Matt O'Leary. First thing he said, Matt O'Leary.
Yeah.
He's a giant.
Yeah. That was great.
I was like, the reason I didn't get lost at the opener, that Baltimore game, when we were trying to find the lounge, was I was just looking for O'Leary. I was like, follow O'Leary.
Matt, I don't know if you might not remember this, but you and I took a picture together at the lounge last year. I was like, Jesus Christ, look, the one guy here who's bigger than me.
Yeah, I do remember that. But you're a big guy too. So we got the three goons out here.
Yeah, if I was healthy and had all my digits, I would apply for offensive line help right now.
I had all my digits.
A Buffalo Jet fan is tall also. So we were a lot of big, tall guys.
What did you call Green Bean last week on the show? Did you call him a garden gnome with the beard? Someone said he's, or someone in the chat, thinks that Green Bean looked like a garden gnome with the, how like the Travelocity guy with the white beard.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, you usually are much meaner when you talk about your friends.
I think I've called Green Bean Gilmy.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what we're talking from He-Man.
And no, from Lord of the Rings. And more ox.
And then we talked. Someone brought up Gildor, because I brought up the picture because I couldn't think it. We said He-Man, the little Gildor who had the thing.
No, I mean, like if we were all got attacked at MetLife, Matt would be like the tall elf with his crossbow shooting arrows, right? Nick would be like the big warrior with a big sword, and Green Bean would be standing in front, going, "Come meet my axe!" banging against the wall.
Tigo, is this a prediction or is this
a
thing?
I was just gonna say that Jordan Schultz tweeted it. He signed with the Bills.
Oh God. Well, that's not gonna change the world, hopefully. They don't.
I mean, that's good. I'd rather have that than trade for Derrick Henry or convince the Giants to get rid of Barkley, right? I'd rather Fournette go there.
Yeah, he
no, Matt, sorry. No calls right now, but
yeah, he averaged like 3.5 yards a carry last year. I don't know if he's the same guy, but in the playoffs, he comes alive for whatever reason in the playoffs.
Yeah, you just have to threaten his job.
That's true.
You just got to tell him, hey, pick your game up, or we're not going to play you. All right, I'll run for $140 a week now. Thanks, coach.
I'm in.
Was that Bruce Arians threatened him, right? The year they went on the Super Bowl run?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I double tapped that. Sorry. That's what she said. You're worried about a guy been on the street since the end of last season.
Yeah.
Hey, man, let's be real, though. Their issue, Buffalo's issue, has been they notoriously have third down backs, and they try to make third down backs every down backs, and they're not. Cook is the closest thing to it, but he's a pass-catching third down weapon right at this point in his career. Can he evolve? Sure, maybe. We don't know. But now you're getting a guy who's proven to run between the tackles. You're getting a guy who you can give to on short downs. You don't have to keep doing this push and then having Allen take unnecessary hits. It's a nice pickup. I still think that they don't have enough. I mean, they showed it this week against Tampa Bay, but they fed the ball around to a lot of different guys, and it wasn't just forcing it to Diggs all the time. Yep. Knox was out, so Kincaid had a bigger role. The slot receiver, Davis had a nice day. The slot receiver had a good day. Diggs didn't eat that much. So if they start to utilize everyone in their offense, and now you add in like an effective running game, let's be real, 80, 90 yards rushing for the Bills is a good day. If you get that without Josh Allen contributing to that yardage, that's an amazing day for them with what they do on offense. So I don't think we should like laugh at this pickup. Jeremy, what's your thought? And then Matt, I'll throw it to
you. Look, I mean, teams are going to make their moves. No, you're asking how I feel about this pickup. I think teams are going to make moves. Teams are going to, I'm not panicking over it. You said the right thing. That means they're not going to get like a Henry. I mean, like that's good news in a sense. I mean, I think that a lot of the running game now in the NFL depends on how like Buffalo's running problems or their issue running the ball has more to do with just the amount that they pass, their scheme. Like, I don't, unless you give them a legitimate superstar, game-changing type of running back, I just don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead. Also, Alfonso, thank you for joining in. If you're new here, please subscribe. And William Vancott, I see your name too. Matt Melillo, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and then follow these great gentlemen if you don't already at Matt O'Leary and Jets Chaos.
Yeah, I think this might be their version of the Dalvin Cook signing, where it's kind of just more of a name recognition at this point for Buffalo. They obviously they were in the market to add a veteran. They like Cook. I don't know if what you guys are saying. I don't know if he's an every down back, and they always they struggle running the ball without Josh Allen most of the time, this Buffalo team. So I think if they want to be a little bit more balanced heading into December and January, the cold weather games and into the playoffs, I think they're going to want to, put a little bit more of a focus on the run and not have to have, Allen dropping back 45 times a game.
Yeah, agreed. They need a new identity, they need another identity on that offense. Yeah. You got Josh Allen with his abilities, but it's just there's something missing. Maybe it's a ground and pound run game. They got some nice offensive linemen. They got the rookie that they drafted, O'Torrance at guard. Dawkins is big. They got some big, powerful guys. Maybe they don't need the little finesse third down backs. Maybe they need that run it through the tackles, straight ahead football. So who knows? William asked a question. Who's the starting O-line this week? I'll be honest with you. I think it's still to be determined. Let's see what happens in the next 28 hours, 27 hours before 4 o'clock trade deadline tomorrow. I think we could bring somebody in. We could waiver wire someone. We could practice squad pick somebody up. I think it's too early in the week. I think Wednesday night show, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern on Jets Chaos. I think we'll have a better answer of that. But right now, I would say to be determined. Matt, your thoughts?
I think it's going to end up, the only question is who's the center on Sunday. I think Tippmann's coming back, and I think it's just a matter of who's playing center.
Yeah, I would love for Tippmann to be back. I don't know how much faith I have in that happening. I hope that's the case. The left side, who it's going to be at right tackle. I think if Tippmann is back, I think he would probably play center instead of guard, but it's still too early. Ask me again on Friday. Maybe I might have a better.
Yeah, right. I'm glad. Another positive that I'll find, right? I'm glad it's a Monday night game. We have an extra day for whoever we bring in, acquire, trade for. There's an extra day to get ready to get thrown out there on Monday night against Bosa, Mack, and the Chargers, pass rush. Guessing right now, I mean, Tippmann's still out, so I'm not going to put him in until he gets cleared. But I think right now, today, Newman center, and then you'd have to look at Turner at guard. But I think we make some acquisitions that change that. So I think it's too soon in the week to give you a definitive answer, Will. But it's definitely something we're all going to be keeping an eye on throughout the week. Fear is Grim brought up a good one. Do you guys hear the team are calling for running back Michael Carr? I mean, yeah, if you're here that the Jets are looking to get rid of a running back, and it's Cook, I'd call up the same thing. You get a younger guy, a guy who has been okay as a spot starter, has shown some flashes. I would rather go get the younger guy with the better contract than acquire Cook with what we've seen from Cook so far. Why would you want Cook in that contract? So it makes sense. You agree, Matt?
We could have kept Montgomery for free. It's annoying. It's just as good as freaking Cook.
Bam Knight, you mean?
Well, Bam Knight, I'm sorry. And then the other guy. Who's the other? Johnson? Ty Johnson?
Oh, Ty Johnson. I was at Montgomery.
Sorry. Ty Johnson. We could have Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson, Bam Knight, any of those guys. Dalvin Cook is nothing.
Yeah. I would be – I'm sad to say it, but Michael Carter's been really bad this year too, man. I liked what we saw from him as a rookie. I thought he struggled last year at times, and just no situational awareness in this game against the Giants. Runs out of bounds on a play where the Jets were trying to, wind the clock down. It's just, I don't know, a couple drops this year too. If someone's going to offer you a draft pick for it, I wouldn't hang up the phone. I'd think about it.
Best case scenario pick, Matt. Go.
5th round, maybe something like that.
Yeah, right. We give the 6th that we got in the in the trade and Carter to move up to get a 5th.
Yeah, something like that.
Do that in a freaking heartbeat. Why not?
Tigo, I don't think this is a given. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on the Carter?
I mean, it makes sense. He's Carter. Okay, I'm sorry. I was responding. I mean, I think Tigo. I'm not going to debate that. There's a very good chance Tip will play center. But if he comes back, no, I think that Carter is. I realize that I made a mistake. I'm stuck on his rookie year, and I'm stuck on some of the good things I saw him do. But he's offering nothing to the team right now. He's nothing. He's not reliable with his hands. He's not being a smart player on the field, like Matt pointed out. They're not using. Like, I think that if he was running the ball more often, like on 1st and 2nd down, we'd see some more of that spurt. And I think, but we're not using him that way. So it doesn't matter. We have Breece Hall. We simply don't use him that way. As a 3rd down back, for the role we're trying to put him in, he's not the right guy for that role. He just isn't. He doesn't do any of the things you need from that role at 3rd down. He doesn't block well. He doesn't have reliable hands. There's nothing about him that makes him a 3rd down back. So for me, it's if you can get anything for Carter, you take it. You just take it. And at this point, they got to stop forcing the freaking issue and just make Breece Hall the bell cow 3-down running back.
Yeah.
And then you spell him with whoever, with Izzy or with Cook when he needs a break. I understand that happens, every team in the NFL. But stop trying to be a 3-headed freaking dog. Stop trying to be a running back by committee. Stop trying to be a roll run. We have a freaking Adrian Peterson. Keep him on the field as much as you can.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I hate agreeing with you. I usually look for anything that you say that I disagree with so I can harp on that and embarrass you and go at you. But you're 100% right. Carter, I mean, the only good thing you can say about Carter has been his pass protection. He's improved in that. The running game has disappeared. They don't even really hand him the ball anymore. Like, you put him in, it's going to be some sort of pass or it's I guess, every coach has a guy that they like. And they have guys that they don't like, and it looks like he's not one of Hackett's guys. The drops hurt him. The drops were big. Phil, no. I mean, if the Jets make a move, if we do something, I mean, yeah, I'll hop on. I don't plan on doing a trade deadline show, but if we go and acquire somebody, I'll hop on. I'm disabled. What am I going to do? I'll go talk Jets whenever. Tristan Cologne's another name. Cologne's on Arizona. Get him without a trade. Yeah, fuck, man. Sorry. It happens once in a while. I apologize to the viewers. Apologize to Matt. This is embarrassing for me and my channel that I agreed with Jeremy, but I will punish myself. I will yell at my nub like, "Where did you go, Toe? What is wrong with you? You took all my wisdom with you." So, anything that we haven't covered, anything in your brain with the Jets that you want to discuss? Anyone in the chat got questions you want to throw out? If you guys got some more questions, I'll hang out for a little bit, but I got to get ready for therapy in about 15 minutes. Not everybody at once. Jeremy, you got anything?
Jeremy has been going first this whole time. I figured he would keep
I threw it to Matt twice, and Jeremy spoke.
I know. That's why I was a little reserved. I was like, all right, Jeremy's probably going to take this.
That's when my inner voice said, "Stop cutting off Matt O'Leary."
Okay.
Pretend it's halftime during the Green Beans stream. Don't talk for a minute. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Victor, as we said, Victory Monday will take it. Things to improve on. I think we see something happen in the next 24 hours or so with a trade. Maybe multiple. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Carl Lawson gets moved as like you acquire draft pick back from that, and then the Jets add a wide receiver, a lineman, something. I think they will be actively adding as well before tomorrow's deadline.
Okay.
Now, Jeremy,
go.
I think that, and I'm talking to you, Nob, if you're hearing this, just stop and relax and enjoy that we won. That's got to be the key thing that came out of this. We're 4-3. We found a way. It just happened. Every team has different ways of winning. Yes, we'll worry about all the things that have to improve. We have a lot of things. Obviously, a lot of things have to happen to keep it going, but they somehow escape with the win. That's what good teams do. They find a way, even when they play bad or in a certain area. Like, they find a way. We found a way to win. Our defense is elite, and they found a way to win, and that's what matters. And I am not convinced the Chargers are a well-coached team. I think they're a very poorly coached team that somehow is not able to utilize the talent that they have. I know they had a big win against Chicago. We're not the Chicago Bears. We're far from it. And I'm going to be there, and I want to freaking win that game. And I don't care. I mean, I'd rather have it be pretty, and I'd rather score a lot of touchdowns and everything. But as long as we walk out of that freaking stadium 5-3, I'm thrilled. Just find ways to win games 1 week at a time. Find ways to win games. That's what we have to do. It's not like we're sitting here. We're Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, where we have this window of winning the Super Bowl, and that's what we're expected to do. We want to fight our way and find a way into the playoffs. That's our goal. That's our goal right now. And just improve and be a real team. And when Aaron comes back, he comes back. But for right now, let's just get in. Let's just win as many games as we can and be a respected team in the NFL and have a team we could root for and even dare to dream of a miracle Cinderella run if we do make the playoffs.
Yeah. Salah said it perfectly. It's not how, it's how many. Not every game is going to be a beautifully orchestrated San Francisco 49ers West Coast offense 45-10 victory. It's not. There are going to be games during a season that are the difference between getting in and damn, we just missed. If we would have won that Giant game. Like, this could be the difference in winning the division.
Yep. This
could be the difference in getting into the tournament. You take every win you get in this league. There are no style points. You win. You improve throughout the week. You get better. Listen, a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere are forgetting how awful the weather was yesterday. It neutralized a lot of what we wanted to do, I believe. Jack still threw for 240. There's some positives that come out of this game. There's some things that we can build upon. There's some things that we need to fix. And if we're not committing stupid penalties, that game is ours easily, because then they would have had a throw. If we don't commit that JJ penalty that gives them the free first down on when it would have been fourth down and they were kicking, game would have been 7-6. They would have had a throw. We would have feasted. Who knows if we get a defensive touchdown off of what they were showing. The game's different. You got to play smart. On top of being efficient, effective, execution, you need to play smart. And to play as stupid as we played with all the penalties and to still get a win, that's a sign of a good team. And I know fans don't want to hear that because they want to cry. But good teams find ways to win when everything isn't perfect. And we're becoming a good team because we're winning a game we had no business winning. That's what good teams do. That's what playoff teams do. I do want to bring one thing up because I saw a tweet, or it was actually a Facebook post of a screenshot of a tweet, and how Boomer Esiason is getting absolutely annihilated for his comment. And Matt,
he got community noted.
I saw. That's what I just saw. Kevin Robbins in the Facebook group Live Rounds posted it, and I got an alert. And all the ref has to do is touch the ball. Now, Lazard, who between his drops and his block in the Philly game looks like he's a suicide bomber trying to take us out week after week, handed it to the center. Bro, you find the ref and let the ref put it down. But it worked out. All the ref has to do is touch the ball. He doesn't have to pick it up, look around, bend down. He just has to touch the ball. And kudos to Newman not just snapping the ball blindly, because then it would have been end of game, right? And it would have been same old Jets. So, you all right, man? Did you get like sniper taken out? Did you fall asleep?
Oh. Hey, guys.
What the fuck?
What? Did you ask me? Did you ask me?
No, I mean, everyone was like this because of your head down. The reflection off of that dome, it was a little blinding.
Sorry.
Sorry, no worries.
It's early here.
But yeah, Matt, I saw your reply yesterday. Like, is this not the ref touching the ball?
Yeah, that's all he has to do. If he wanted to change the spot, he could have slid it back or like I don't know. I don't get it.
If he moved that ball at all, oh my Lord, he wouldn't have got out of that. Well, it was a Giant home game, but
yeah,
there would have been outrage.
Wasn't Lazard supposed to quickly give the ball to the referee?
You're supposed to. Yes. But in that situation and the length of the play, the umpire had to run downfield and get there. So kudos to him and doing Peloton or whatever he does to get down there in time.
Should Lazard have went down sooner rather than? Didn't he let a bunch of seconds tick off?
Not the way Zuerlein kicked it. He went down to the right spot. If that was another yard or two, that would have cut in front.
That was a bad.
Everything. This is something we don't get to say very often. It was a horrible game to watch. It was a disgusting game as a fan for both teams. But everything went perfect from 24 seconds or 27 seconds when the Giants attempted that field goal till the game ended. Everything went our way. And the key to the Jets season is just go to overtime because we're undefeated in overtime. So every game has to go to overtime, and we have to live on the edge of our seat and have panic attacks.
The best.
Matt, you got anything in closing? Plug your stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited. A week from today, I will be at the New York Jets and Chargers game. I believe Jeremy's going to be there too, so I'll get to see him.
Give me a big hug.
Things you just absolutely love to see. I'm really excited for that one, and just keep the train rolling. Keep stacking dubs. Let's do it.
Yeah, Matt, hang out when we go off the air too. Don't disappear right away. Jeremy, go ahead.
I'm excited about going to New York. I'm leaving a few days. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I'll get to Nick. I mean, I know I got 2 spots to hang out in for the tailgate time. I'm going to come to your area, and of course, I'm going to go to the Matt O'Leary panel, Ryan Greenbean area. So, and probably try to visit a few other people. I want to meet Joe Blewett in person if I can. So I'm going to be trying to find out where he is. So I'll be walking around the parking lot a lot. I'm really excited. I hope we get the win. I'm not going to underestimate the Chargers. I know they got good players and everything, but I think it's a winnable game. We're at home. It's Monday night. Let's hope Zach plays like he did against Kansas City. He liked the spotlight against KC. Maybe he's good in the spotlight. And let's be honest. I mean, the Giants, I don't care what people say, their defensive line is stout. It's excellent. And he was under a lot of pressure, and San Diego does not have the same defensive line that the Giants have. So it is, we could see a different Zach Wilson, and we could fare very well next week, I think.
Yeah. Looking ahead at this game, and let's not forget, Hackett has coached Zach to the competition. Against Mac Jones and the Patriots, they handcuffed him. Against Kansas City, where you had to score more, they opened him up. I expect him to be opened up more. I expect a big game from Zach. I think this is the game Zach hits 300. I think you saw a lot of good things the other day. I think you saw some things that we can exploit San Diego downfield. If we can protect long enough, I think you're going to see some really good things. And obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing Greenbean, Matt. That's it. Oh, Dom will be there too. Dom C will be there. So a lot of my favorite people will be there. Yeah, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, right? Jets Chaos channel. We'll have our Wednesday night show. And it should be fun. It should be a good week. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Looking forward to seeing who the Jets bring in. Looking forward to talking to all you in the chat again. And if you're new here again, thank you for joining. Matt, thank you for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure to talk football with you.
Anytime.
Jeremy, we talk all the time. It's not a pleasure. It's almost like an obligation at this point. It's like family at Thanksgiving, like every day, like we have to talk. So just as long as there's no uncle touching stories, we're good. We'll keep this friendship going. But
by the way, I am pretty excited to see your kid there.
Yeah, Nikki will be there with me.
I'm excited to see Nikki.
He has school Monday, but he has off Tuesday for election day, and it's supposed to be my weekend with him. His girlfriend's sweet 16 is Saturday night, so he's like, Dad, he's like, I know it's your weekend, but I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And then I'm looking at the dates. I'm like, all right, I gotta talk to your mom. I'm like, get your fucking grades up. I'm like, make sure everything is good. I'm like, if everything's an 85 and above, I'll talk to your mom. So we're gonna keep him home Monday. He's gonna come to me Sunday. Monday, nice. He's staying home from school, so we can go up to the game early. And then Tuesday, he'll go home Tuesday night. So it's a little shifted weekend. But his mom last night gave the blessing because his grades were good enough. I was like, don't you fucking talk back. You do your chores at the house. You take the garbage out. You don't do nothing to ruin this.
Yeah, be a good kid.
Yeah, let's be good, please.
Yeah.
But all right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Matt, Jeremy, hang out after and in the backstage. And everyone in the chat, enjoy Victory Monday. Find something to be happy about with the Jets. Dig for it deep if you must, but enjoy it. We're a winning team. We're 4-3. And as always, be loud, be proud, New York Jets fans.
Phil Adams!
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean in the chivalry.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go.
Matt O'Leary.